Hello everyone, welcome to Shell Point Today for Tuesday, March 17th. I'm Dan Filgreen. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. On today's show, dining manager Greg Pindara will talk to us about the special festive menu they have planned for today, as well as the passport dining option. We'll get an update from the Women's Ministry Global Outreach of the Village Church. And finally, we'll go inside the Orchid House for an up-close look at all the beauty inside. But first, we want to remind you that tomorrow you're invited to a Market and Economy Forum held by Finemark Bank. This open forum discussion will be hosted by investment experts from 10 to 11 a.m. in the Manatee Room on the island. The Crystal Room is a great place to wrap up your day with a relaxing, delicious meal. And if you're ready for something different, in honor of it being St. Patrick's Day, Greg Pindara has a special meal you won't want to miss. Let's find out more about what's going on at the Crystal.
Hello, Shell Point. I'm Dan Filgreen, and we are here at the Crystal Dining Room, and I have Greg Pindara here, and we want to talk to you about a great meal that's coming up, and that's going to be St. Patrick's Day. So, Greg, what do we have in store?
Well, we're going to have some entertainment that night, and our menu is right here. We'll be doing the traditional carved corned beef, and we'll have the cabbage and carrots and boiled potatoes. We'll also have a battered cod and Dublin chicken and lamb Irish stew. So that'll be the entrees, plus all the sides and vegetables. And of course, we're going to have Irish soda bread and Irish cream cake for the evening. So it's going to be a festive evening here on Tuesday, March 17th, and we're all going to come and have a good time at the Crystal Room.
And all of that, folks, for only $16.95. What a deal. And speaking of the price, you can pay for this at a discount if you use your Passport dining plan. So, Greg, give us a reminder of what that Passport's all about.
Well, the Passport dining plan is where you put in a less amount of money than the value of your Passport plan. You put in $700 or $750, and you get $1,000 worth of meals. And it is not too late. It is not too late for you to get into a Passport plan. You can get a $250 plan, a $500 plan, a $750 plan, or a $1,000 plan. If you get the $1,000 plan, it only costs you $750. But you get $1,000 worth of meals at the Crystal Room, the Island Cafe, the Palm Grill, and the Promenade. You can use the Passport card at any of these places. And talking about the Passport card, try to remember to bring your Passport card with you to the dining room.
Okay, well, thanks for that reminder, Greg. And again, maybe you don't want to put down $750 at one time, but there's amounts all the way down to $250 that you can put down and still get a great savings for meals at all of the Shell Point dining venues. But don't forget, St. Patrick's Day coming up. It's going to be a great meal for you. Come on out and join the fun.
On Wednesday of this week, the Women's Ministry's Global Outreach will host author Miriam Rockness, who will share the inspiring story of Lilias Trotter, a Victorian-era young woman who led a life of sacrifice among the poor in London and Algeria. Rockness will also speak about her own 20-year quest, which has resulted in a biography and soon-to-be-released documentary. Here's more about this Global Outreach event.
Welcome. I'm Eleanor Pease, Director of Women's Ministries of the Village Church. And I'm here today with Bonnie Palmquist, whom many of you know. And we're going to be talking about the Wednesday, March 18th morning Global Outreach meeting. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
Good to talk with you.
You too.
Tell me, the meeting is about Lilias Trotter. Who was Lilias Trotter?
Well, Lilias Trotter was a woman who lived in the Victorian era. And she was an artist, but she wasn't just any artist. She was a protege of John Ruskin. And Ruskin told Lilias that he could make her the leading painter of her time. Well, there came a time when Lilias made a choice, and that choice eventually led her to the country of Algeria, where she spent the rest of her life working among Algerian Muslim people, serving them and loving them.
Well, you've told us about Lilias Trotter, and it sounds very interesting. But our speaker is someone named Miriam Rockness. Now, who would want to come and hear her speak?
Miriam is probably the person who knows the most about Lilias Trotter. About 30 years ago, she was personally introduced to Lilias. She was a busy pastor's wife and mother of 3 at the time, but she was so taken by this woman's life and work that she spent years researching her. And then she was asked to write a biography of Lilias Trotter, and she wrote A Passion for the Impossible. A few years later, Miriam compiled and edited another book of Lilias' writings and her paintings.
Thank you so much, Bonnie.
You're welcome.
I'm sure that you will not want to miss the Global Outreach meeting on Wednesday morning, March 18th. It will be held in the hospitality room in the village church. The meeting will start at 10:15, but come a little early if you would like some coffee and a treat. As always, men and women are welcome. Thanks for listening. We look forward to seeing you on Wednesday morning.
The Orchid House is a fascinating place to hang out. With all its colors and beauty, it can easily be seen why so many take pride in caring for these wonderful flowering plants. No matter the season, simply step inside the Orchid House and it becomes springtime. I spoke with Helen Remington recently, who gave me a tour of this wonderful oasis.
We stopped by the Orchid House the other day, and there is an amazing variety of the plants that are in bloom right now. So we thought we'd come over here and check out what's new. So, good morning.
Good morning.
So tell us, what's new at the Orchid House?
Well, we have some beautiful blooms right at the moment.
All right, and I've noticed here, you've pointed out that we've got a little different thing going on with some of these ones that are not in pots, but you kind of flip the pots.
Yes, we did. It's just something new, and we learned this at the Fort Myers Orchid Society, and we have a man that did the wire. It's a special little wire you put inside the pot, and we put them on the pots and secured them down, and we're hoping that they'll do real well. And we'll know in 6 months if they made it or not.
Okay, so this is kind of akin to what I see around Shell Point and various places where we have orchids attached to trees, right?
Yes. And the orchids on trees they're happy. We have the Shimbakia here that's just about ready. She got just a little nip of the cold, and so she's not real happy.
Well, tell us about the cold. We did have a pretty cold night last week. Tell us about what happened.
Well, I've been here for 12 years, and we've never taken the orchids inside. Last week we did.
All of these orchids out here. About how many do we have out here? Do you have any idea?
500.
500.
Yeah.
They all went inside for the first time.
Yes, and there were 3 of us that hauled them in and placed them in the back room, and we were bushed.
I'll bet.
But
and then you had to put them all back.
Yes, I was just going to say, taking them in, but then they all had to come back out. But they're back out. And when we got a little smarter, when we brought them back, we repot them every 2 years. So the ones in front here all have to be repotted.
Okay.
The ones in the back have all been repotted.
All right.
So wasn't that smart?
Okay, so you got a little reorganization done while you're at it.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
That saved us a lot of work.
Excellent. Now, for those who haven't been over here or don't know, approximately how many orchids are there in total? Do you have an idea, just roughly?
Millions.
No, I don't mean in the world. I mean here at the Shell Point Orchid House.
We have about 1,500.
1,500
Yes.
folks. And, if you don't know anything about orchids, I didn't for a long time, but they're all the same species, right?
Yes.
The exact same species, and yet the variety is astounding.
It is. It's just, they're magnificent. And when they put out their blooms, it's just unbelievable.
It really is. I'm a guy. I'm not really much for flowers. I could take them or leave them. But, orchids are fascinating. If you just come out to the Orchid House and take a look, I think you'll become a fan. It's hard to not become a fan of orchids.
It is.
When you just take them in, they just kind of get you, don't they?
They grow on you. But, we had 2 men. When I came here, Dr. Williams was in charge, and Don Lawrence was the potter. And Dr. Williams has passed on, but Don Lawrence is 99. He can't come anymore, but those two men really gave 10 to 15 years of their life to this orchid house, and all the things that we do came from their knowledge, and we stay pretty much to that.
Yep. Well, this is a wonderful, wonderful legacy of these fellows and of everyone else who's put them in a lot of time and effort to caring for these orchids.
We have a staff of people that come every day. Now today is Vita's day, and she washes the pots. We have another lady that comes that washes our medium. We have another lady that comes in bugs. So it takes a lot of people to do this, and everybody comes and does their job, and they enjoy it. It's a wonderful place to work.
Absolutely.
It
Well,
really
I can
is.
tell you love it, and you're not the only one. And we all get to the benefit of getting to just come and look at the flowers and love it too. And now we're with Bob Fuchs, one of the great volunteers in the Orchid House. Bob, what would you like to point out to us today?
Well, I was just working this morning on this plant, which is an oncidium, and interestingly enough, it suddenly has developed 7 spikes.
7. Ooh.
7, and these will all be full of, maybe it's 8. I think there's another one in there. These will be a long string of blooms, and we've got some that are similar down the line here that will they just fill up with blooms. I don't know how high this is going. It's probably got another foot or 2 to go.
Wow. So it looks like a really happy plant.
It is a happy plant, and I don't know what the age. Let's see how far back it goes. The record here goes back to '05, so that's 10 years.
10 years. And then how long can some of these plants live?
Yeah, I think we've got them 15, 20 years.
15. And I've heard somewhere I read that they could potentially live to be like 100 years. Is that right?
Probably could. Yeah, probably could.
So you take care of them, you can hand them down to your grandchildren, huh?
Well, they're when they find the right place,
Right.
or they like to sit in the right spot. When you get one in the right spot, it's going to do well. We moved one outside just recently, and we looked at it, I said, that's not doing well there. And we moved it around to the other side of the shade house, and it's very happy. So,
It likes it there.
So that's,
Well, great.
yeah. What else do we have here? This, of course, is the classic Darwin orchid that we've gotten a few prizes for. And then these guys, now this is going to be spectacular. It's called Amusman or Amusman. I'm never quite sure how to pronounce it. If you get the Orchid Journal from the American Orchid Society, they have a little pronunciation guide in it. So, yeah.
Very helpful.
Yeah. Incidentally,
There's no lack of names to these things,
no
are
other
there?
names. Oh boy, they make them up. And this one will look something like the one we just talked about with the 7 spikes. Not exactly the same style, but this one has 2 spikes. So these are about to pop. And what happens with these, you see, some of these drupes have still have green leaves. The leaves die, they fall off, and then you end up with this. This will be all blooms.
All right, so this one, when should folks come to see this one?
Well, I don't know. I would have said come last week, but it's
Still kind of going, still cooking in there.
Yeah. But when they come out, they're really great. Most of these hanging ones are dendrobiums, which seem to go on forever and ever. We've had the best year with dendrobiums that we ever had. And some of them date back to last summer when we stuck them in here, and they're still blooming.
Wow.
So. Yeah, Paphio. Yeah, they're Paphs. Yeah, I was trying to think. Slipper. Yeah, slipper orchids. And I think they're common up like along roadsides up in the northern Midwest. And so you got some terrific blooms. Look at these.
And I was trying to remember the name of this style. What are they?
Catalea.
Cataleas.
Yeah, they're the big, the junior prom orchid.
You're right.
And yeah, you got small cataleas. They've got big cataleas. Most everything has got buds on it right in through this section. See these?
Oh yeah.
It's got a little bud starting.
Ready to go.
It's got 2 of them. There's another one. And now here's an interesting plant. There are 2 of them in here. One of them is this orchid, which is on these long hanging drooping branches. This is Laodicea, which is now in bloom. And they're more of a terrestrial orchid. They're planted in dirt and soil rather than in the medium that we use. This is an interesting story because we had a lot of these, and one day a rabbit got in here.
A rabbit got in here.
Spent the night.
Uh-oh.
And
That's not good.
ate all the loudicies. He seemed to like them.
Oh my.
So fortunately, I had one of them back at the apartment for some reason, and that was the only one we had left. So we brought him back, and now you see we've got a bunch of them.
So these are the babies, huh?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, they're
next,
propagated.
yeah, next generation. And here are the Phalaenopsis, and Jim Hooper takes care of these specifically. We're having a good year with these, as you can see.
Boy, I'll say they're going gangbusters here.
And he kind of gets the bloomers that way, and then as he moves them down.
Okay.
Probably this will all fill up, and it'll be quite a show then.
Terrific. Well, thanks, Bob. Appreciate you showing us around.
Okay.
It's a magnificent collection. If you haven't been out here, you owe it to yourself to come and take a look at these beautiful flowers. Now is a great time. There are so many in bloom. But even if you have come out, you know that it's always a little different, right?
It's every day.
There's a different one in bloom all the time. It's always something new, always something beautiful. So you know what? I think we need to give the folks a little taste. So we're going to show them a little photo collection here of everything that's in bloom right now.
Okay.
And now it's time to cover all of today's happenings, Academy news, menus, and Village Church connections.
Well, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody, and welcome to the happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chanley, and this is Caitlin Vanskoy, and we're going to tell you the activities that we offer for you here today at Shell Point. We're going to start bright and early with a 7:15 Health Connections class. This one is Bend, Breathe, and Balance, and you'll find that in the Health Club on the island. At 8 o'clock, pickleball will be played at the pickleball court. Also, at 8 o'clock, we have the round robin doubles tennis. That's going to be at the Woodlands tennis courts. The stamp ministry will be in the stamp room on the island at 8:15. At 8:30, the Ladies Golf Association will be teeing off at the Shell Point Golf Club. The Arbor Tea and Tour will be at the Arbor Dining Room at the Woodlands at 9 o'clock. And we also have a 9 o'clock bocce down at the bocce court. The caregivers support group therapy will be in the conference room of the medical center at 9:15. You do need to sign up for that. Also at 9:15, we have the memory care group in the conference room of behavioral health on the island. Our last 9:15 activity this morning is open painting, and that's held down in the art studio in the tunnel. At 9:30, we have the match play, mixed doubles tennis at the Woodlands tennis courts. The Women's Ministries Bible study will be in the hospitality room of the Village Church, also at 9:30. At 10 o'clock, the Susie Q will be heading to Woody's Waterfront Restaurant on Pine Island. Sign up is required for that. From 10 until 12, the photo gallery and studio will be open for touring. At 10:15, through the Bible study group will be in the Osprey Room on the island. The caregiver support group therapy will be at 10:30, and that's held in the conference room of the medical center. 10:30, we have the memory care group in the conference room of the behavioral health center. Living Healthy is a health connections class, and that'll be in the Osprey Room at 11:45. And that wraps up our morning. Here's Caitlin to tell you what's going on this afternoon.
Thank you, Bev. The Bloodmobile will be here from 12:30 to 6 today in the Village Church. At 12:30, we have Mixed Progressive Bridge in the Woodlands Game Room. At 1:15, the Knitters group will be meeting in the Osprey Room, that's on the island. And Shuffleboard will be played at the Shuffleboard Courts at 1:15. The Rollicking Recorderists will meet in the Tarpon Room at 1:15, that'll be in the Island Tunnel. Another 1:15 activity, the Women's Ministries Prayer Group will be in the Hospitality Room of the Village Church. We have a Health Connections class, Aqua Pilates Stretch at 1:30. That'll be at the LifeQuest Aquatic Center. The Stant Ministry will be at the Woodlands in the Sable Room at 1:30. And from 2 to 4 today, the Photo Gallery and Studio will be open for complimentary tours and viewing. 2:45 is another Health Connections class, Balance and Mobility Training Level 2, and that's in the Health Club, and it's currently full. The Celebration Ringers rehearsal will be in the choir room of the Village Church at 3:15. And come and enjoy an evening of entertainment and dinner at the Crystal Dining Room for St. Patrick's Day. That'll be from 4 to 7. That wraps up our activities for today. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Terry Kolath with your Academy information for St. Patrick's Day. At 9 o'clock, Advanced Russian Zastovo Folk Art continues in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. And then at 10 o'clock, we have our St. Patrick's Day celebration in the Academy with Professor Adrian Kerr in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands. Sign up is required. At 10:15, Introduction to Android tablets and smartphones continues in the Technology Teaching Center on the island. And at 10:15, our iPad apps class continues in the Manatee Room on the island. At 1 o'clock, Apple Device Security, Password Protection with Keychain begins in the Oak Room of the Woodlands for those who have signed up. And then at 4:30, the Alpha course continues in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands. I'd like to thank everyone who volunteers for the Pavilion Auxiliary, and I'd like to remind those of you who are interested to please see the back page of the weekly reminder. Down at the bottom, there's a box that tells you everything you need to know to sign up for orientation.
Menus for St. Patrick's Day. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter for lunch is a stuffed flounder with steamed broccoli and wild rice pilaf. The dinner special is the St. Patrick's Day Buffet for $16.95, and the soup of the day is vegetarian vegetable. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is hot corned beef Reuben with onion rings for $7.25. The dinner special is country fried steak with mashed potatoes and mixed vegetables for $8.25. Dinner specials on the Palm Grill are swordfish for $15.95 or ribeye and shrimp for $20.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
The strings will resonate God's praise here at the Village Church on Sunday, March 22nd as we welcome the Amasi Trio from New York. Members of the Amasi Trio include the violinist Sangri Son, along with cellist Dr. Chung Sun Kim, and outstanding pianist Dr. Tammy Lum. Since the inception of the Amasi Trio in the early 90s, the trio has performed a wide range of repertoire from the Western and Asian classic and sacred literature. The Season of Praise is a concert series that celebrates God's continuing work of literally and figuratively renewing and refreshing His church. As in the past, our inspirational concerts and worship celebrations are part of the ongoing ministry here at the Village Church. As residents and friends join together each week for worship services, the opportunities to grow in the grace and knowledge of our Lord abound, and they provide spiritual renewal and refreshment. Having the Amasi Trio with us adds to the variety of musical ministries we enjoy by various vocal and instrumental soloists and ensembles. The Village Church is pleased to provide a mixture of inspirational experiences to highlight the Season of Praise concert series. It's a joy for us to partner and to present guest artists to encourage and inspire us with the artistic expressions of their faith. The Amasi Trio is the resident trio of the Nyack College School of Music, located in Nyack, New York. Since the inception of the group in the early 90s, the Amasi Trio has performed a wide range of repertoire from the Western and Asian literature. The group has performed in the Beethoven Festival in New York, the Sarah Lawrence College Concert Series with the Sarah Lawrence Chamber Orchestra at Carnegie Hall, and at the Nyack College Concert Series. As the resident trio of the Nyack College School of Music, all the members are teaching faculty in piano, strings, chamber music, and string orchestra. On Sunday, the 22nd of March, their program will include Haydn's Piano Trio No. 39 in G major, and Astor Piazzolla's composition entitled The Four Seasons of Buenos Aires. One of my favorite selections will be that composition by a friend, Paul Liljestrand. Paul's a fine musician, has studied with him, and he has written a piece specifically for the trio that's entitled The Master's Touch. And this selection is based on a text by Horatius Bonar. The text says, "In the still air, the music lies unheard. In the rough marble, beauty lies unseen. To wake the music and the beauty needs the master's touch, the sculptor's chisel keen. Great master, touch me, thy hand. Let not the music in me die. Great sculpture, hew and polish me, nor let there hidden, lost, thy form within me lie." Other selections will include familiar hymn arrangements and traditional folk songs. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this concert by the Amasi Trio. The Village Church is pleased to again present this inspirational Season of Praise concert. Concert requires the purchase of a non-refundable $10 ticket, and tickets are available at the church office or at the church right prior to the concert. You could also go online and check out the website for the concert series at www.shellpoint.org, Season of Praise. For more information, don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Village Church. Our number is 239-454-2147. So I look forward to seeing you for our concert on Sunday evening, March 22nd at 6:15 p.m. with the Amasi Trio.
Well, that about wraps up things for today's show. Be sure to join us tomorrow when we'll hear all about the upcoming Shell Point Singers Concert, as well as another musical feature when James Irwin of Turbin gives us a preview of the variety of wind instruments to learn about in his upcoming Academy class. Until then, I'm Dan Filgreen. On behalf of everyone here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.